Hey everybody, my name's Joe.
My name is also Joe.
Welcome back to Recap episode number 12, I think. I'm pretty sure we're on 12. This week we're recapping Nicklaus Golf, Krusty Super Funhouse, MVP Football, Space Football 1-on-1, and Super Battletank. A couple of these have little extras to their names, and we'll get to those as we go. But first off, Nicklaus Golf. So, graphics. What do you think, Nicklaus Golf?
I actually think the graphics are pretty good.
Yeah, the graphics actually in this one I thought were fairly decent. Like, there's good shading, there's a lot of good imagery in there that a lot of the other golf games lacked for sure. That right there is the problem.
The loading.
Yeah.
It took forever to load, and if you tried to turn, it was very, very slow.
Yeah. They did a lot graphically with this, a lot of shading, a lot of texture, everything looked really nice. Just from the animation there, you can see the guy swinging looked really good. But because of all that, everything else was super, super slow. Another thing I didn't care for was the power bar in this one.
The power bar was very difficult to understand.
Yeah.
I think we got it. But...
We started to get the feel for it, but yeah, it was not as smooth or as easy to transition as previous games that we've played. So, other than that, the sound was average, no music. Well, it had music in between the holes, which was super loud. And then gameplay was okay, other than just being hard to figure out the hit bar. So, but in the end, I gave it thumbs down.
I also gave it a thumbs down.
Yes, 2 thumbs down, Nicklaus Golf. Next up, Krusty Super Funhouse, based off of the Simpsons franchise. This is a platformer, puzzle platformer. You're trying to figure out how to finish these puzzles to get all these mice from one side to the other. I mean,
there's not much to say about it. Graphically, it wasn't great. The sound was pretty garbage. The gameplay was alright.
Yeah, the gameplay wasn't bad. It controlled okay. But yeah, the graphics...
It was just kind of boring.
Yeah, the graphics aren't great, and the sound wasn't great. And the dog's barking upstairs, because, yeah, not great. Thumbs down.
Yeah.
Also thumbs down.
I also gave it a thumbs down.
Double thumbs down. Next up, Capcom's MVP Football. Now, this is like the third football game we've played, I think. I know we played Madden, and I feel almost certain we played at least one other football game. Graphically speaking, this looks a lot like Madden. So, that's whatever. Is the video paused?
I don't think so.
Well, we'll let it roll. Hopefully it'll start moving in a second. Because I really don't want to redo this. There it goes.
I was going to say, we're moving.
Yeah. So, Capcom's MVP Football, yeah, the graphics were a lot like Madden. It's slower. Like, things move slower. A little slower. And I think the sprites actually are a little cleaner, too. The colors are vibrant. The playbook operates just like Madden, really. You pick your plays. This game, however, and maybe it's because it's slower, or maybe the controls are a little more deliberate, it felt like you could actually control it. So, like, Madden just turned into a giant pile, and it was super hard to figure out what was where and what was doing what. Whereas this game felt controllable. Plus, you could complete a pass in this game. Like Madden, you couldn't complete a pass for nothing. In this one, we completed a number of passes.
And in a lot of sports games, we've noticed we don't exactly get to choose who we control. In this one, we got to...
Yeah, you could actually choose. L and R your dudes and pick the one you wanted to control, which is a huge deal. Except for when you pass the ball. As soon as the ball hit the receiver, then you're the receiver. Right. But that's understandable. So... Otherwise, professional teams, I don't think they had specific players and numbers, but they did have the licensing to use, like, the Minnesota Vikings and 49ers, so there is that.
Was this the one with the coach play feature?
Yes. That was something I forgot all about.
I think that's the reason I gave it a thumbs up.
So, yeah, in this one, if you don't like actually playing football, there is a coach mode where you become the coach, and so you pick the plays... And then the game plays
you just watch it
itself.
happen.
Yeah. Which is kind of a super interesting theory. Like, you could get a little kid to play with you at that point and be like, look, man, just pick which one you think looks good. I don't know that you're going to get a little kid to understand at all a playbook, but it's an option. And yeah, for you, you don't particularly care to play the sports football. So the coach mode was an interesting thing that they threw in there. I think it's a really neat idea.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if games today use anything like that. We haven't played anything new since like Xbox 360, and we didn't have any sports games on there. So, but because of all those, the fact that it is playable, that you can complete a pass, that's a little slower and easier to control. You can pick your player, and coach mode, we both gave it a thumbs up. So 2 thumbs up for Capcom's MVP Football. Next up, Space Football 1-on-1. This game's hot garbage.
That's a pleasant way of putting it.
It's dumpster fire. Look at it right there.
It's not great.
Yeah, it looks like a dumpster fire.
The sound's not great.
I will say this: they went polygonal on some of the things here. It has an F-Zero feel to it a little bit.
It's so difficult to tell what's going on.
It is.
Like, you look at it and you're like, what do? You see that orange thing right there? Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. More of the time you don't, but you have to get that into a goal, and you can only hold it for like 8 seconds.
Yeah, not very long.
And it just shoots off in a random direction.
Yeah, it goes off on its own. That, and there's a ton of crap on the ground that spins you or throws you or whatever. And the other person just has to run into you to take the ball from you. It is very fast-paced. Like, everything moves super quick. But it's not the easiest to control. I don't remember the sound being anything special. Like,
yeah, I
don't remember music. I'm not even sure if it had music, but I don't remember it if it did. I mean, I liked the backdrops of the cities and the refineries.
The backdrops are pretty cool.
But otherwise,
as with the ones in F-Zero.
That's true. Yeah, but otherwise, I wasn't a fan. I mean, yeah. Thumbs down from me.
Yeah, thumbs down from me.
Yeah, sorry, Super Space Football. It was interesting they tried a concept that was different than things we'd played before. I'm not sure why they called it Space Football, because it's not really soccer. And it's not really football. I think they just had to come up with a name, so I don't know. Next up is Gary Kitchen's Super Battletank War in the Gulf. This is Desert Storm era, early 90s, so that's kind of interesting. Here you've got your briefing. Graphics not bad. Shading, you got a person in there. Now, in the gameplay, you are in the... I almost called it a cockpit, but it's not really called a cockpit on a tank.
What is it
I
called?
don't know. The casemate or the cab.
The inside of a tank. The front seat.
You are inside the tank. Unfortunately, you don't have a crew of dudes working with you like a normal tank would. It is just you controlling literally every single piece of the tank. You drive, you turn the turret, you shoot the gun, you change the weaponry, all of it. So from here, it looks kind of crude, frankly, I think. But it's not the worst interface that we've ever seen. It does give you a bunch of information here on your HUD.
I like that they tried to make it, I guess, look sort of realistic.
Yeah, you are in a tank. That's the goal.
Especially with the fuel.
Yeah, you do run out of gas in this game, which is kind of a nutbuster.
Well, the thing is, like, the gauges, like, actually are important.
Yeah, they move. And your blue HUD there tells you, like, how many enemies are left. You know, how much
they
ammo
easily
you've got.
could have made it just giving you, like, a very out-of-place HUD.
Yeah.
It showed you your fuel and what items you were selecting.
It's like a fuel bar off to the side.
I like that they tried to put it like into the tank and make it look like it was part of the tank, which I think they did a really good job of.
Yeah, reasonably well, I think. What I did like here is you have a little mini map, and then you can actually switch to a larger map, which is almost, I mean, it's necessary to figure out where the hell you're going.
Because otherwise you don't know where everyone is.
But the nice thing is it's real time. So when you're in that big map, things are still moving, including
and you can move around.
Yeah, which actually was pretty useful. There's the big map, so you see enemies on there and mines. The one thing that is super unrealistic is this has wraparound map. So we were at one point where I'm like, oh, the last guy's way over there. Well, that's easy. Just do the wraparound, and suddenly you're on the other side of the world there, which is convenient for gameplay, not so much realistic. But whatever. A lot of levels after the first couple end with like a weird boss battle where there's like a string of tanks or enemies shooting machine guns and things at you. They weren't particularly difficult as far as we got. We got to like mission 5 or 6, I think. I think there's only like 10 missions. So we got halfway through the game in an hour. Sound wasn't... I don't think there was music, which doesn't surprise me. But the sound was okay. I mean, you're in a tank, so there's a lot of bangs and booms.
Right. The controls were a bit difficult, at least for me, to get used to.
Yeah, now this is a game I played primarily, but you did play it a little bit. But I got the controls real quick, and I think they were fairly smooth once you get them. But I mean, that's the case for a lot of games. I didn't have an issue with the gameplay.
I didn't either when I played.
No real slowdown. So actually, I gave Gary Kitchen's Super Battletank thumbs up.
I also gave it a thumbs up.
So that's it for this review recap. Jack Nicklaus down, Krusty Super Funhouse 2 down, Football 2 up, Space Football 2 down, and Super Battletank 2 up. Now I know Super Battletank was actually on a number of other systems.
That was a lot of agreement this week.
Yeah, there was no arguments about garbage or non-garbage. I think next week may be different though, so I don't know. We'll see. But that's it, guys. Thanks a lot for joining us for this recap of the last 5 games we played. I'm looking forward to the next 5 games we play.
Yep.
Have a good one.
See you guys.